I want to share something with you guys about letting go of control, especially for men. This is incredibly important in order to get into the present moment, to really find and step into your power. So, this is about control. Being a leader, being a provider, being a protector is not being the man that can control the masses, but being the man that can inspire the masses in order to operate naturally. I've got a crazy travel experience for you guys. So I'm currently here in Bali. Yesterday I had to make a visa run. And my Marine Corps background, infantry background, like the paranoia is like there. Not really PTSD, but like my mind's like wired a certain way, and it's been like that since I was a child because I knew what I wanted to do at a very young age. I knew I wanted to be in the military. I knew I wanted to be a door kicker. So yesterday I went on the plane. It started off pretty rough. I woke up, I didn't really sleep much 2 nights ago. I got like 3.5 broken hours of sleep. My shoes were outside. I heard the rain. I'm like, oh. So I had to run outside, bring my shoes in, hope they would dry in the next 2 hours while I go back to sleep. Didn't really sleep much. Slept for like 2 more hours. I scheduled a ride to go to the airport, and that guy didn't answer his phone or his call. It was 10 minutes past the time that he was supposed to be here, so I had to get another ride. And that guy didn't answer for like 10 minutes, so I got another ride. At this point, I'm already 20 minutes behind. And of course, the night before, I wouldn't call it paranoid, but more so like well planned and prepared for my journey ahead. So finally I get in the vehicle, and I hate going to airports. I'm not a fan of flying at all. My body hurts. It's not an exciting time for me. Some of you guys, you love flying, and that's cool. Me, I'm not one of those guys. I accept flying for what it is, but I'd rather drive 14 hours instead of fly for 3. That's who I am. That's how I am. It just saves me a lot of peace of mind. But anyways, I get on the plane and everything. I'm just like planning my next steps, like these checkpoints, and get to the next checkpoint, you'll be safe, and get to the next checkpoint, you'll be safe. That's how I have to break it up in my mind in order to feel peaceful, especially at airports, like stressful environments like that. I can do all sorts of crazy like security stuff and military operations, yet when it's time to go to the airport, my mind's freaking out. That's funny. I never thought about that until now. So I get on the plane, my heart's just beating. It's to the point where like I recognize that I am not breathing normally. I am not thinking normally. I am not looking normally. My body's so much more tense and rigid, and I don't even have bags to worry about. I'm just walking through the airport. I get on the plane, I'm feeling it even more. I'm like, thank God I'm sitting down because I cannot do anything. I cannot react properly. Like my body was in like respond mode instead of me being able to think about things and then respond to them. I was observing it, and it was just going as I was observing. I knew what I had to do logically, so I just made those steps. So technically I was responding versus reacting, but I get on the plane and it's just flooding. That feeling of anxiety and paranoia is just flooding all over me. And I'm like, okay, the window next to me, the engine's going crazy, and like I gotta fix the freaking motor or the turbine, whatever you call it. And then in mid-flight, the guy in front of me gets up. He goes to talk to the lady up there, and as soon as he's like just hanging out a little bit, my mind goes into paranoia mode, and I notice my eyes going blue, 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 blue. And then he's like using the bathroom, and like other weird things are happening that might be normal, but for me, I picked it up as a threat. This is my Marine Corps brain, my Marine Corps robotic brain that's been programmed so damn hard into my skull to pick up on anomalies, things that aren't normal, things that are potential threats, especially in security. You are supposed to recognize the threat and stop it before it even becomes a threat. It's called hunting the hunter. And those mindsets, those mentalities, great mindsets, great mentalities, but when you're operating from a place of emotions, that's not the greatest thing when they are technically controlling you. So I allowed myself to ground, and I did my best. I recognized that I wasn't breathing properly. So I focused on my breathing. I focused on just being at peace, accepting it for what it is. I started doing the inner work in the moment, like just going down, like asking the list of questions of inner work. Like, why am I feeling this way? Like, do I feel safe? Do I not feel safe? Like, what's causing this? And I got to the point where I thought I've done a lot of work around letting go of control. I know it's one of my reasons for coming here to Earth. It's one of my karmic ties that I've come here to let go of, but not at this level. I've never felt it this deep. So I knew that I needed to let go, but it came up again. And this time the emotion was so strong. Like in the past, I've known let go of control, but how much did I really let go of control in the past leading up until this situation? Now the situation's happening and I hear let go of control, let go of control, let go of control. And because I wasn't present in the chaos, the experience became chaos, uncontrollable chaos. But when you are present in the chaos, you can recognize the situation for what it is, and you don't have to control the situation. The reason we want to control, especially for all you men out there that are veterans or in security or any kind of tactical kind of business, job, entrepreneur, whatever field, it's we want to control the situation. Why? Because we want our clients to feel safe. We want our boys to be safe. We want safety for ourselves. So those traumas, I call them traumas or programs that we've been programmed for to protect against a potential threat. And I recognize that in my life now, and I'm sure a lot of you can recognize as well, that they're all potential threats, meaning what we're thinking up top, like was like 80 to 90% of our thoughts never even happen. So what we think is gonna happen or can happen, most of the time it doesn't even happen. So we get our nervous system out of whack, it gets dysregulated really. I really sat with that and I was like, oh, so I just don't feel safe in my body in the chaos. I need to slow down. I need to recognize, first find the reason why I don't feel safe. Then I feel through the reason I don't feel safe, and I recognize I brought it back to the root cause of doing some inner child work, and that played out into the military, into doing security work, into my daily life now. And now I look back and I see patterns in my daily life, whether it's tracking where my food is, my deliveries, or knowing who's coming through the front door and all this crazy stuff. I recognize that's me operating from a traumatic pattern. I am responding or I'm reacting based off of my programs versus responding based off of presence. So when we can let go of control, we can be in the present moment, allowing us to connect to source, connecting to peace, connecting to harmony. And at the end of the day, that's going to make us a better leader because we are present with those around us. We are going to be a better provider, not just with the moolah, but emotionally as well, because it's what? Allowing you to be present. And you can provide emotional intelligence, you can provide the emotional availability that women seek from men. But if you're out searching and you're like paranoid and you're like trying to control everything, it's important to have a level of control to a specific extent. That's why I call it controlling the chaos. How can you respond versus react in chaotic situations, which is why I'm sharing this experience with you guys. But the woman wants to make sure that you are cool, calm, collective, and responsive in chaotic situations versus reacting like super stressful. You want to be cool, calm, collective. What's up? I got this. Everything's under control. Instead of like, where's he at? Where's the problem, man? I'll fix it. Like trying to go out and find the problem versus just responding to the problem as it comes at you. It's like parrying a punch, right? You're not just gonna the whole fight. No, you're gonna parry the fight, or you're going to parry the punch. Boom, boom, boom. You're not going to just back and forth all the freaking time, because you're going to get tired out just by doing parries alone, trying to avoid the punch that probably won't even come, because your opponent knows, oh, this guy's parrying like a mofo right now. He's avoiding the punches that aren't even coming. I'm going to let him tire out, and then I'll go for the punch. Don't do that. Regulate your nervous system. Find peace. Find presence in the chaos of life that's going to allow you to respond to situations. Now that I've recognized the fact that I don't want to let go of control, that makes me feel safe. Why? Because there's some kind of fear buried deeper into it, whether it's fear of being late. And you can ask questions. Why is being late such a bad thing? What happens if you miss your plane? And those are questions that I've asked myself as well. Like, what's the worst case scenario? Breathing and being okay, finding peace with the worst case scenario, and then just let it go, let it be. Don't dwell on the worst case scenario. Think about it, whatever's causing that dysregulation in your nervous system, then cut it off, accept it, let it go, then get back to being present with whatever you're doing, connecting to source. And then during that flight, I was like, this is an excellent opportunity for me to pause and just reflect and just be the observer of my thoughts. So the entire 2.5, 3 hours of the flight, I'm just sitting there, just whatever's coming up, I'm meditating, just letting those emotions rise, because those are emotions. I had to capitalize on this experience, because those are emotions that I don't get to feel very often, because only certain experiences and events will trigger those emotions, because I've done so much inner work on myself. And I was like, this is the opportunity for me to transmute the energy of having to take control of every situation in order to feel safe at all times. Like, no, presence is safe. Nothing's happening. And if something negative does happen, one, I've attracted it into my life, but two, I don't remember what two was. Whatever, it'll come back up. But that's the key I want to get to you guys, is don't feel like you need to control every outcome of every situation. Be like water. Go with the flow. Be at peace. Instead of yelling at a red light, this is time for me to be at peace and be present. Whenever you guys feel these triggered emotions, especially when they're really, really heightened, use that as a great time. Think of yourself as fishing. Like, you caught the big emotion that's been holding you down. Use it. Use that level of awareness. Use those energies, those emotions, those feelings as an opportunity for you to go deeper into yourself, to transmute those negative emotions, those more dense emotions that might be holding yourself back from being your true authentic self. Maybe they're money beliefs, maybe they're relationship beliefs. Like, they're just emotions holding you down. They're dense, they're heavy, they're just holding you down, like a sandbag would hold down a hot air balloon. You cut the sandbag off, the hot air balloon's going to rise. We're all love, therefore the hot air balloon naturally wants to rise. It's just being held down by the baggage. So use the chaos, use these triggers that I've experienced, and I know you guys you experience a lot as well, especially if you're not familiar with the deeper work. It might be happening to you like every day. Those of you doing the deeper work, it might happen, depending on how long you've been doing it, maybe less often, once a week, once a month, once a year. It's been a long time, over a year, since I've experienced this powerful of an emotion, about 9 months since I've experienced this kind of really, really strong emotion. It doesn't happen often. So use it as an opportunity to grow yourself. I think I had something else to share with you guys. No, maybe not. Now I'll share for another video, but this was on my mind. This was inspired. I wanted to share it with you guys. Let go of control. Let go of the outcomes. Focus on being present. Focus on the present moment and just enjoying every aspect, whether it's a scary plane ride or a paranoia, lots of people in the airport waiting in line for stuff. Like, relax. Bring yourself to center. Bring yourself back to peace. At the end of the day, no one really wants to hurt you. And if they do, it's another topic for another time. Try to think about something else that I was going to say. And just let go of control. Find the peace in every moment. I think I just said that. And you're going to recognize that your relationships are going to grow. Your ability as a man to be a leader, provider, protector. You're going to be more centered because you're more present. The power comes from presence. When you are present, your higher self comes in and occupies your vessel and shows you the way. But if you're not being present, if you're paranoid and occupied with outside things and you're trying to control everything out here and not everything in here, you're not going to allow the opportunity for your highest vibrational self to occupy your vessel in order to follow the path of life that you were meant to walk. Some might call it purpose, some might call it destiny, some might call it, I don't know, another word for destiny or purpose, whatever. But we have free will to do that. And now you get to choose. Am I going to feed the chaos of life, or am I going to be a controller of chaos of life and be the observer of your thoughts, feelings, your emotions, and your outside, and not react to those experiences, but now you are responding because you are present. You have that level of awareness. To be present in order to become aware, in order to think and feel and base your next decisions, actions, and moves based off of your outside circumstances versus reacting. And when you're reacting, that's just you operating based off of traumas and previous trainings. We want to be present in the moment because presence is where power comes from. That's where fulfillment comes from. That's where peace comes from. And I know all of you guys watching, that's exactly what you want. I think this video is done. I'm going to start recording more and more videos about my travels. I know when I left the US in June, 4 months ago, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be showing my journey and my experiences. Then I started the YouTube channel, and it's been more giving more information, being more educational, and I want to show you guys the experiences and the journey that I'm going on. So I'm going to start shifting a little bit from the educational side to being personal with a little bit of the inspirational. What's the word I just said? Inspirational and educational word, and educational at the same time. So if you guys haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. I'm all about making men men again, and how can we be the best version of ourselves? How can we be a better leader, provider, protector? So I would appreciate it if you followed, subscribed, shared, like, do all your stuff, help get this message out there, and I will be giving you guys updates here in the future. I love you guys. Peace and love.